Hello everyone, welcome to a new video on the channel. Today we are finally wrapping up the month of March in my reading journal. This video is a little bit late being put up simply because I had so many videos before this filmed and ready to go, and I definitely need to get better at making a schedule that works at the end of the month. I feel like I end up with 1,000,001 videos to share, or thoughts at least, that I want to turn into videos. And now with the new segment as well, I definitely need to figure out my schedule going forward, but that's teething issues, and I'm really happy that you're here with me today to watch me finally finish up March in my reading journals. So if you're new here, hello, my name is 𝓬𝓼. On this channel I share a lot about my reading journal and my reading thoughts, and I also have Instagram. If you are interested, you can follow the link in the description, and I will be happy to have you join me there. So we are on to the stats page already. I had mostly kept up with keeping March in order and up to date, so we didn't have to fill in anything at the end there, but having this page done is always one of my favourite things when it comes to wrapping up the months in my reading journal. I'm really enjoying doing this way of layout this year. I'm just so glad that I decided to change it up. It's so much more appealing to look at, and also it feels more functional to use. So this is the third time I have done this layout for the stats page, and I definitely think I'll be continuing it from here on out the whole year long. I think it will be perfect for what I need. So let's talk a little bit about the month of March, because if you haven't watched my reading update, you will have not known that I finished 15 books, which was quite a good effort for me, considering I thought that I was doing absolutely rubbish in reading and felt so stressed out with everything else that's been going on. So to be able to read that much in 1 month, it is the most I've read all year long. So I was very surprised when I was doing all the stats leading up to the end of March with how much I'd actually completed and got through. And I think a lot of that's down to the fact that 2 of the books on my completed reading log were graphic novels. I also picked up audiobooks again. So little things like that, I noticed that I read faster or listen to faster because I can do things at the same time. And actually, as I'm recording this in April, I have only completed audiobooks this month. It's just been such a blessing to still be able to listen to something and essentially be reading, but not have to worry about holding a book or just doing the one thing, because I have been incredibly busy. Also, I am filming this narration and posting this up on Easter Sunday, so if you are celebrating the Easter holidays, I do hope that you and your family are doing well and having a great time, whether or not you get together as a family, or you just consume chocolate, or you have some sort of religious tradition. I hope that you're having a good time doing that. This weekend has been pretty chill for me and my family. I was unfortunately handed all my Easter eggs on Friday, and it is Easter Sunday and I have none left. So that's the sort of level of as far as Easter goes for me. I'm definitely not interested in having too much chocolate from here on out, and I'm just having a quiet weekend trying to catch up on some things on my computer before the holiday ends and people start ringing wanting me for things. So back to the stats now that we're almost ready to start filling in that information on the page. Yeah, really good month. I think that there was a lot of variety. As you can see, the star rating bar is the longest it's been all year long, and there's books as low as 2 stars, books as high as 5 stars. So let's get into the stats, shall we, real quick, while we start filling it in on screen. So I had 3 5 stars, 2 4.5 stars, 4 4 stars, 2 3.5 stars, 1 3 star, 1 2.5 star, and 2 2-star reads. I didn't DNF anything though, so that was really good. I read 15 books as I mentioned. 12 of them were novels. I had one novella and I read 2 graphic novels. 6,053 pages were read this month, and I had an average of 3.8 of star ratings. I read 4 romances, 7 fantasy and 4 sci-fi books, and for the age range I read only 4 adult books and 11 YA, which is quite a difference really from usual. And then 7 of those books were physical, 6 were ebooks and 2 were audiobooks. And I read 9 series, I had 4 standalones, and I managed to complete 6 arcs. I also brought 7 books and hired 5 from the library, so I am definitely trying to balance out my spending of books and using the library. I definitely feel like that would be a great resource for me to continue on using. And I actually recently subscribed, or at least I'm doing a trial version for, is it Scribed or Scribd? I'm not sure how you meant to pronounce that. I listened to the audiobook of a book this month on there due to friends that we were reading in the book club saying it was fantastic, and I absolutely agree. So I can definitely see that I'll be able to save some money if I continue to listen to audiobooks or get some ebooks from this subscription based place, because my library is great but it doesn't have all the books, and hopefully I can find sort of a happy medium between the two. I didn't really want to get a subscription for books considering I buy so many, but I'm really happy that I'm at least trialing it now, and I'll see how it goes. Maybe for a few months I'll see how it goes and then go from there. But I'm super happy with how this page has come together. You can see down the bottom now that I've stuck in my favourite read was Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. I gave it 5 stars. And my least favourite read was Falling Hard for the Royal Guard by 𝓤𝓽𝓮𝓮. If you want to have more information about the books, like I said, the reading update, I'll link them both in the description below along with other videos that you might want to check out. But they definitely have my thoughts on why I enjoyed or didn't enjoy those books. And I'm really surprised by the amount of YA that I'm reading lately, because I am an adult, but I don't feel like YA is just a genre for young teens and young adults, but definitely reading a lot more than I should be. Usually I like to have a good balance between adult and YA, but a lot of the books I've been picking up have been YA. I'm not mad about it. I've had some really good reads, and I was finishing off the 𝓤𝓽𝓮𝓮, so a lot of the YA books in this lineup were from that series. So it'll be interesting to see how April goes now that I'm finished with the 𝓤𝓽𝓮𝓮, and how many books I will read that are in the age group for adults or new adult versus YA. I don't have any plans for middle grade books over April, so we'll just see. Let's flip to the front of the book now, and I accidentally didn't fill in the last book on my bookshelf. It is The Alice Curse by Megan Van Dyke, and I gave it 4.5 stars, and it was the last book to be put on here. I really like the blue addition to the shelf now. I think it looks really cute, and I didn't fill in its spot here, so I've gone back as well, a little bit out of order, but I am really enjoying how this colour theme is going together in the front for the Goodreads challenge. So here's one of my favourite pages to set up on camera for you all now, because I mentioned in my quarterly flip through that this one is just so fun to look at, and when I am narrating this part of the video I'm always so intrigued by watching the trends come together. So for the first month of every month this year I've only read 1 book, which is interesting, and I wonder if this is a trend that I will continue to see develop as we further into the year, or if it will change. I'm definitely seeing different results to the first 3 months of reading than I did last year. Maybe I could do a comparison video like 6 months or something. That would be quite handy to look at and see the trends, whether or not I'm reading more on certain days or less, if I have a similar pattern to the way I read on certain days each month. It'll be really interesting to follow that. But also this is just aesthetically pleasing to look at. I think the colours work so well together, and I do enjoy filling this page in a great deal. I'm glad that I leave it to the end of each month. I couldn't imagine how frustrating it would be trying to fill this all in every single day. So I do think it is a win-win for everyone involved. I get to watch this back along with you guys, and filling it in isn't so bad when it's all in one big swoop. So aside from this page, that is all we're going to be filling in the rest of this book. The A to Z challenges, the author A to Z challenge, and my 2023 books to read, nothing needed to be filled in on those, nor did anything on the other challenges, so I am moving straight into my long-terms collection reading data journal. So we're going to fill in the stats real quick, and it was interesting to see the difference beside the month of March last year. Definitely read a lot more ebooks in March last year, and I like seeing those trends. I think it's really great to have these types of tracking systems so we can see how we read and why things change. You know, it doesn't matter, but it's just fun to look at all the same. I am really behind in filling in things in this book, so a lot of the filming as the footage that I've got to share in the rest of this video is simply me catching up on filling things in. So here we are filling in a bunch of arcs that I've got to read. I've been accepted for quite a few recently, and I haven't really had as much time to sit down and read, so I really need to stay off of NetGalley for one, but I applied for another one yesterday, so it's like a bad habit. It's almost like I like collecting arcs but not reading them straight away, so I definitely need to put in some effort and get through some of them. We're now on the series tracker, and again this really threw me. So I was filling in the books that I read this month, and filling in all the ones that are already down that I've got there, and then I realized that so many of the books that I've read over the month of March were actually from series that I started last year, but I didn't even put them down on the list. For example, I have no idea why 𝓬𝓬𝓮𝓭, which was a duology by Marissa Meyer, wasn't down on this list. I read 𝓬𝓬𝓮𝓭 in 2021, so why wasn't it here? Perhaps I didn't have it down in last year's book, that could be a reason, and I missed it that way, or it could have been on that list. I have no recollection, but you can see that I'm going through going, where is it? It's not here, it should be on this list. So I'm adding it. And I also added Sorcery of Thorns because I think it's going to turn into a series with the novella that I read, set in the same world. It is a series essentially, so I went ahead and added that as well. The interesting thing is, after I added those things, I left some of these new books that I've added on uncoloured in, and it was so silly of me to do that because the whole point is for me to be sharing that I'm colouring in the books that I'm reading on this video for you all, but I just completely misplaced putting down colours for those. So for the Nightshade Crown book and the Siren's Call, I don't think I filled that in, and I ended up realising it off camera, and now it's filled in, you don't have to worry. Again with the TBR, I have to probably go through my TBR in the next few weeks and make sure that I have everything on there, because I don't think I have every book that I have on my shelf on this list. I haven't kept up on it, and over the month of February I forgot what books I brought, so I definitely know that they're not on this list, so I'll have to add them in and catch this page up as well. I am in two minds. I did say it in my quarterly flip through on whether or not I will continue to fill in the author collections section in the book. I don't feel like it's really something that I'm utilising well, but hopefully maybe I could just use it off camera. I just don't see the real point to filling it in. Usually there's nothing to share in there, each month, but this month there was, and I actually had to add on some stuff which you'll get to see in a moment, so that is why I've left the footage there. But yeah, I don't know, I like sharing these parts of the long-term tracker with you all, but I do feel like it's more of a personal thing. Once you get to this section, it doesn't feel like it's helpful to share. Do let me know if you want to continue to see the entirety of this book, or if you're just here for the stats bit, or if you only just like to see the blackout journal. I personally like sharing the stats. I think that is helpful, and I do like my series tracker in those parts, but I'm always open to feedback in how these videos work. As you can see, I'm filling in those 3 books that weren't on my Lunar Chronicles series tracker, and I've also filled in Cursed. So that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I actually got a new microphone, and so if the audio sounds better, that's great. I still need to figure out the audio settings a little bit, because this is much quieter when I'm filming it, so hopefully I've figured out a way to make it a little bit louder. And let me know if it's too loud, because my end is going to be different than yours. So thank you again, I hope you're well, and I'll see you soon. Bye everyone.